All right, everybody, we have ourselves an absolutely beautiful day out today. I mean, it's pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie, but the weather's nice. That's all that matters. So real quick, before we hop into this video, I have to tell you guys something about these cars because for those of you guys, I can't talk right now. For those of you guys who have a aftermarket downpipe like I do and have your stock downpipe just laying around in a box somewhere, well, I found this dude on Facebook and he bought my stock downpipe for $950, man, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, if any of you guys have a Supra and you have a stock downpipe laying around, I'm gonna leave his information linked in the description below if you guys want to sell your stock downpipe because yeah, I mean, you could basically get a whole exhaust system for free by selling your stock downpipe, man. Bro, check this out. I just about walked through the garage door right here, and I don't know if you guys can really see this. I don't like being this close because it's got me sketched out, but there's a spider web here. You go up and that spider right there is as big as a quarter, and I'm just gonna back away while I can. But now that we're about 50 feet away from that spider, you guys saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you know exactly what is happening in today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about why you should buy a Mark V Toyota Supra. It's kind of gonna be like a 7 things I love about this car, but it's gonna be more like basically why you should buy one of these amazing cars. So let's go ahead and roll into the first reason why you should buy yourself a Mark V Toyota Supra, and that has to do with the looks on this car. So for those of you guys who don't know, I had a Genesis Coupe before this car, and basically the main reason I bought the Genesis Coupe was because of how unique of a car it was. You basically never see them. There's no really other cars in that price range. Well, there's no other cars in that price range that look anything like the Genesis Coupe, and basically just the looks all around for the money that you get with the Genesis is unbeatable. And when it comes to this car, I think this car is basically in the same boat. I don't think there's a car for this amount of money that looks better than this. Now, obviously, that's subjective. Some people might think C6 or C7 Corvettes look better, but dude, I'm telling you, pictures, videos do not do this Supra justice. Once you can see these body lines and the hips in the back and just how everything flows together on this car, it is absolutely beautiful, and I really don't think there is a better looking car for the money. Like, just check this out, man. We'll do a walk around real quick, and as you can see, my car is absolutely filthy right now, but on camera, thankfully, the dirt doesn't really pick up, so it just looks pretty honestly. But yeah, man, just I don't know, dude, everything flows together so nicely. This carbon duckbill on the back like legit changed up the whole entire look of the car. It looks so much more aggressive now. I highly recommend one of these if you guys have one of these cars, or if you guys want to get one of these cars. I would go with a duckbill over a big wing, me personally anyway. But dude, just this car is just beautiful, man. Look at it, so pretty. Now, moving on to the second reason why you should buy yourself a Mark V Toyota Supra, and that has to do with the sound of these cars, man. And I'm not really going to explain this one. I'm going to set the camera down and start the car so you guys can hear this for yourself. We'll set this down right here. Now that the car's quieting down, I can, but like, dude, this thing sounds so nasty. Like, there's nothing else in my opinion. I mean, obviously some BMWs and whatnot sound like it, but there's nothing else that really sounds like this thing, man. Straight 6, small turbocharger sounds impeccable. And then also, just wait, man, it gets so much quieter. Like, pretty much with a full straight pipe, it's basically daily drivable with this setup. Like, it's not that loud, honestly, after the car gets warmed up. Like, listen to how quiet that gets, man. Like, that is unbeatable. Like, the car is basically fully straight piped, and once it's warmed up, it's pretty much as quiet as it was stock. But yeah, pretty much the sound on this car is absolutely perfect, and I could drive it around all day and just listen to how amazing this thing sounds, man. Like, I can't really get the turbo sounds on camera that well, but in person, when you're driving, it just sounds like you got a grasshopper or something on your shoulder just whistling away at all times, man. It's amazing. Now let's move along to the third reason why you should pick yourself up a Mark V Toyota Supra, and that has to do with how easy it is to make power on these cars, man. Now, for those of you guys who don't really know too much about these cars, you probably don't really know how easy it is to make power on these cars. But for those of you who have been keeping up with these cars, you've seen maybe Baba Yaga Racing on YouTube or people like that, you guys know that this car car with a downpipe, a catless downpipe and a tune can produce like over 150 wheel horsepower over factory and like 150 wheel torque over factory with literally just a stage 2 tune and a catless downpipe, man. Like, I mean, obviously you can make other cars fast, but for the money, I don't know if you're going to be able to beat this thing. Like, literally with $1,000 invested, this thing is basically making 500 wheel horsepower and 540, 530 or so wheel torque. And those numbers are just insane, man. That's like 650 crank horsepower, 650 crank torque or something insane like that, if not more. And just how simple it is to make power on these cars is insane, man. Like, if you want something that you can make fast, that's also a pretty reasonable price. I mean, nothing's really a reasonable price right now. Everything's up pretty high, but like, if you can get one of these for about MSRP, man, I sincerely don't think that you can find a car that you can make as much power out of this easy. Like I said, with a tune and a catless downpipe, you can basically be walking six-figure cars, bro. Like, it is absolutely insane, man. And then also, while we're on this topic, I figured I would mention real quick, for those of you guys who have heard of Mike Body, the tuner for these cars, like, he's a major tuner in the game for these cars. He recently tuned a car, I believe it was on stock turbos, stock engines, stock trains, basically stock everything. It just had a Mike Body tune, Ecotech body tune, and it had a catless downpipe, and that thing made 534 wheel horsepower and 732 wheel torque, man. Like, these cars are literally like diesels, but they're not diesels. It's insane, bro. It really is. But now, since I've been talking about how fast these things are, before we move into the next reason, I think you guys are owed a full send, so let's go hit it, man. Alright, as you can tell, it's dark out now. It's quite a few hours later and 25 or so degrees cooler, which is why I was waiting until it was dark out pretty much. But we are down in Mexico now, and I'm not going to do necessarily a regular full send right here. I'm just going to do like a half throttle full send and just show you guys how crazy this is, even on half throttle. Check this out. Bro, like, it's really hard with one hand trying to keep this thing steady, but I don't even know, bro. Like, this thing is just, it puts the biggest smile on my face every time I drive it, man. And I forgot to even mention, but that's with TC off, by the way. So, while I'm out driving around, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next reason you should buy a Mark V Toyota Supra, and that has to do with basically the drivability slash room in the car slash comfort of the car. Like, pretty much all three of those in one. Basically, what I'm trying to say is okay, so about 2 months after I had this car, I just had the catless downpipe on it, no tune or anything yet, but me and my dad drove 9.5 hours to South Carolina in this thing, man. No heat soak issues, no nothing like that. I actually let my dad drive most of the way there, and you know, he wasn't really sending it or anything like that, but the car did not heat soak or anything like that. Also, each of us had a full-on suitcase in the back, and besides that, he had a backpack stuffed back there as well. Like, there is so much room back there, and like, really, for being a two-seater sports car, there's all the room you need to make this really a daily driver. So if you're looking for something with the looks, the power, and has storage room, I would highly recommend one of these cars, man. Now, moving on to the fifth reason why I think you should buy a Mark V Toyota Supra. I feel like I've said Mark V Toyota Supra so many times. I'm gonna try to stop saying it now. But the next reason why I think you should buy one of these cars has to do with the infotainment system and the dashboard, basically. So yeah, we all know by now that this car has BMW guts, basically. The whole inside right here is pretty much straight out of a BMW, and I turned on the light and I see some gnats flying around here, so that's awesome. But yeah, this right here straight out of BMW, this right here straight out of BMW. This right here is actually new from Toyota, but I mean, dude, I absolutely love this interior. The Apple CarPlay, just how everything works. This little dial right here, just the ease of everything. The shifter is weird, I'm not even gonna lie. It took me a little bit to figure out how to get used to this thing, but it's super simple after you mess around with it, basically. But yeah, man, just check out the dashboard. And for those of you guys wondering, that little triangle down there, it's because I'm low on washer fluid. And yeah, check this out. It tells you right here, which is kind of funny, that like whatever's going on with the vehicle. But yeah, man, the infotainment system is so smooth in this car. It is by far the nicest I've had in any car. Everything works perfectly, and yeah, it is BMW, but it's been fine-tuned, and I have no complaints with it, honestly, man. All right, now the next reason that I think you should buy one of these cars has to do with the fact that it's a Toyota, man. It's reliable. Now, I know that these cars have not been out very long, but they've actually been out longer than I've realized in a way, and probably longer than you realized in a way. They came out in 2019. It's almost been 3 years since these things have came out now. Actually, I think they basically have been out for 3 years now, which is just crazy to think about because like they still just seem so brand new. But I mean, dude, with all the people doing all the crazy insane mods and whatnot to these things, if something was going to snap, somebody would have found the weakness by now. And like I think we can all safely agree that this is a Toyota at heart, even though the engine is a BMW engine. As many of you guys probably know, like Toyota and BMW, so basically BMW sent Toyota the engine, Toyota said not good enough, sent it back. They went back and forth like that until BMW finally sent them an engine that Toyota was okay with, and then Toyota basically tweaked it from there, or so that's what I've heard. But I mean, I believe it, man, because if you've ever seen this car head to head up against the new Z4, like it's not even a race, man. This thing blows it out of the water. But yeah, if you guys are looking for a sports car that is reliable, I mean, I don't think you could get anything better than a Toyota, honestly. All right, everybody, we are back down here in Mexico, and before we hop into the next reason, let's do ourselves a little 60 roll. So traction is off right now. We're gonna get to 60 miles an hour and foot to the floor. Oh man, it's still spun. Bro, like, I just can't even describe this thing. Like, it's just an experience. It's like a roller coaster on wheels, man. It's so fun, bro, and like it can only get so much better once I go to E and just everything else, man. I'm hyped. All right, everybody, now for the 7th and final reason I think you should pick one of these cars up, and that has to do with gas mileage. Now, I'm just gonna say this real quick. The 3.0, well, the Supra in general gets amazing gas mileage, the new one, but I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Basically what I'm trying to say is both of the new Supras get good gas mileage, but I don't really see a point in getting the 2.0T is basically what I'm saying, because a lot of the guys with the 2.0T, I see them talking in the Facebook groups, and dude, they get about the same gas mileage as the 3.0s. Like whenever I drove this thing to South Carolina, man, I was averaging over like 30 miles a gallon on the interstate. But of course, that's interstate driving. But even driving around in the city, check this out, dude. Like I still get amazing gas mileage for being catless downpipe in a stage 2 tune. I think you can see that, but I average 22.2 miles a gallon. And like I said, for catless downpipe stage 2 93 octane tune, making like 450-ish wheel horsepower, 490-ish wheel torque, that is amazing gas mileage. Not that like you necessarily buy a sports car for gas mileage, but if you're looking for this car as a daily driver, it's definitely a bonus that the gas mileage is as good as it is. So yeah, that's really the 7th and final reason. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, yeah, the 2.0T gets good gas mileage, but I mean, the 3.0 is like 5-ish grand more. And if you're gonna already be spending that much money, you might as well go ahead and get the 3.0 because it's got more power. It obviously looks the same. It looks just as good. It's got a better engine, and yeah, the gas mileage is just as great, man. But yeah, everybody, that is really going to wrap it up for this video. Before we end it completely, still, I've not heard any news on the exhaust. I'm just fingers crossed still at this point that it won't be too much longer. I'm just extremely excited for that. It's gonna make the car sound just what I'm looking for, man. I think you guys are gonna be so excited. I'm super excited. Besides that, got a few more mods I'm looking at, thinking about, and probably gonna pull the trigger on here soon. But yeah, that's really gonna wrap it up for this one. Like I said, if you guys like this video, do not forget to drop a like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one.